What's up, guys, and welcome to the Hawaii Fire Department's Smoke and Fire. I'm Tyson, this is Roy, and together we'll be hosts for this journey, this special journey.
Ooh, special guest.
Today, we light up the fire with a special series we like to call The Last Interview. This series is a tribute to the senior firefighters who poured their hearts and souls into serving the Big Island community. Before they head out, we'll dive into their lives, stories throughout the department. Actually, he headed out already, but they take with them a lifetime of experience, stories, and expertise. Join us as we unveil the lives of these remarkable men and women before or after they extinguish their final flames.
Yes, so today, in a very, very special episode, right? Very special episode. Welcome and honored retiree at Station 19 at Volcano, retired as a paramedic. He was in our department for 27 years, right? I think total, right? 26 and a half, close enough.
Yeah.
Long time. Yes, our friend and yours, Mr. Kamaki Aiona. Cue the applause.
Thank you.
There you go. There you go.
Kamaki actually works with us right now, so we rehired him.
Suckered me.
He was so good that we had to rehire him.
He was such a valuable employee that
My.
Truth be told, he is currently our fireworks auditor at the time, and he is helping us with all of our fireworks permits, our shows, that type of stuff. So someone who has fire knowledge who's able to come in and help us out.
We're lucky here to get a retired guy to kind of get us, we'll talk about the same things we did in the last interview, but we'll in the end of it, we'll kind of get a preview about things that could set yourself up as a newer firefighter or tips that he could bring to teach the younger firefighters for retirement.
Yeah. How are you doing today, sir? That's the first question.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you for coming.
Fabulous.
Yes.
Top
I was
10.
taught at this point in my life, every day you wake up is a win.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Beautiful.
Okay, so
Beautiful.
first of all, let's get to know you.
Okay.
Born and raised, your high school sports, high school, and up until you got into fire.
Okay, so I was born in Hilo, raised all over the island. Initially in Ka'u until I think it was elementary school. Then we moved back to Hilo. Went to Hilo Union until about the 5th grade. Moved out to Honoka'a when my parents got Hawaiian homes and went me out. And but around 7th grade is when I went to Kamehameha on Oahu. And that's where I wrestled a year, played basketball. That was pretty much high school. Continued to play some basketball afterwards. It was a big part of what we did, in college and stuff. And didn't play for college, but played in college. And got to know a lot of the guys when I transferred back from Manoa to UH Hilo. Yeah, so was at UH Hilo for a while, having fun, working part-time. And I was doing the 6 to 8 year program before it was a thing, probably. So my dad said, hey, maybe you better hurry up and graduate or military or the fire. So I signed up for a fire exam, and once I took it, I knew that, and I got around it, and I got to see what it was about. I knew, I can't do anything else. This is what I want to do. So I became a fireman.
When did you start in fire department?
1993, July 1st was our hiring
What
date.
recruit class was that?
Whew.
You remember?
We were in the 20s, and not like 21st, 23rd, something like that. Yeah.
Do you remember your RTOs? And
Yeah, Lloyd Narimatsu was our lead. Yeah, he was our lead.
It's crazy.
We still had, who was driver training? Noah? I don't know if you remember Noah. Steve Noah was.
I don't know who that is.
And
Yes, I think
one
you
of the
retired before I got in.
Bellows. And there was I can't remember if it was Tom Bello. I think he was the EMS guy, but he was in the office too, training us. Same office. They were right. The same place. Yeah. So.
What inspired you to become a firefighter?
Oh, well, my dad was a police officer, so he told me I couldn't be a policeman. He told me if I tried, he'd deal with me physically. So, but I had uncles. I knew people who were. Like I said, initially it wasn't something I was thinking about. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, and I got in pretty young. So, but once I was in, once we started and we did the EMT class, I got really interested in that. So that kind of took me down my path, and it just became a matter of wanting to do more and more.
So can you talk about your path throughout the career in HFD? Where you went, stations you went, and your career ladder that you...
Sure. Yeah. Well, when I first got in, so it was pretty hectic. Like recruit class. One of the funny stories about recruit class was our structure fires. When we finally got to do structure fires, and so one of the first structure fires we went to, we were there early, and I saw one of my friends drive up, and everybody knows this guy. It was Greg Raposo. So Greg drives up, and we're like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" He's like, "I'm in your class. You never know." Like, what? And he pops his trunk and he gets out his bunker gear, but he was in paramedic class at the time.
Oh.
So he was in our recruit class. So we had a lot of late, I guess, or just late trainings like that with live fires and stuff like that. And never quite got around to brush fire training. And so we just knew that Chief Naramatsu, he says, "Hey, I get called out on a lot of those fires." I don't think he was a chief at the time. He might have been a captain. He became a battalion chief later. But he said, I get called out to those fires, and I help to mitigate those. So we knew that was a thing. And we were driving out to the station. I got stationed in Waimea, and because it was one of the country stations, they gave us a packet. A brush fire packet. There was like 4 of us that were going out to, so we had a packet. So they was like, "Oh, okay, we should probably read this before we go to the station the first day." So we were doing that, and so we're driving out, and I was driving out with another firefighter, and we see this light way behind us, and it's going like, "Oh, something's going on." So we pull over, and they go past us, and we see it's Naramatsu, and he's going out, and we're like, "Oh, damn, this is a fire." And it turned out to be one of the, at the time, the biggest fires that they had to that point out in Kohala. And it went up and down the mountain, and it was very hairy. It was very hairy.
Yeah.
So needless to say, my partner was riding out with me, was scrambling in his bag to try and find that packet that I told him I had.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Hey, we're about to get trained, guys.
It's gonna get real.
Here's the training. Here you go.
Yeah. So that was our first experience, day one. So we spent it. I spent it up on Kohala Mountain all night through the next day, and my captain checked on me that night, and he asked me. He said, "How you doing?" And it was a huge fire, but at night. And it sounds weird, but it's really windy. But so all the logs are laying, but they're all laying in a row, like they're laying blown down the same way. It was kind of beautiful. I told the captain that. He said, "You will be fine." And he went to go check on another guy. I was like, "Oh, I don't know." So, yeah, but it hooked ever since then. Yeah, I enjoyed brush
When did you
fires.
make the decision to become a paramedic?
So oddly enough, it was because we got sent down to Station 16. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but basically Station 16 used to be a BLS rig. So it was 2 EMTs, and it fell under Waimea's control. There's a story to that too, but but yeah, so we fell under Waimea. So basically we drove to Waimea. Waimea, there's like 10 guys at the station, or it seemed like a lot of guys. They'd pick 2 EMTs. They jump on a van that would come up from Waikoloa before 8 o'clock. They'd be there by 7:30. By 7:30, you leave, you go shop in town, head down to Waikoloa, and you work your 24-hour shift there. So when you're 2 EMTs at a station, it doesn't seem like it's very far away. It's 20 minutes, maybe even from Station 14. But it's a lifetime.
When you're going,
it's a lifetime when you're kneeling next to someone and they need something.
Yeah.
And we were BLS, so there wasn't anything we really could do other than to assess and treat what we could, and pray that someone will be there soon.
We'll go to memorable experiences. So I guess throughout your whole time in the department, what is the most challenging situation that you faced on the job, and how did you overcome it?
That's an interesting question. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of different challenges. There's, you know, the ones, everyone's going to have a dynamic, it's dynamic for everyone. Calls are similar, but they always have a little twist that makes it specific to their situation. Car accidents, controlling traffic, you know, or even just family that's, you know, distraught, you know, obviously, and for good reason. But there's also the ones like just in the station, right? There's those things, and those are the ones that seem to trip us up the most. I've seen guys do the greatest things on calls, and just amaze me every time when we go on stuff, and what the selflessness that, you know, they're willing to show, you know, and their acts and their bravery and just the toughness and compassion, but at the same time in the station for each other. We get tripped up over a pot that should have been washed by 8 o'clock this morning.
How dare you?
You know, so the challenges are, it's a very broad range. But specifically, it's hard. You go to so many calls. After a while, some of them bleed into each other. Some of them will always stick out. Yeah. I've had a few.
So for you being a paramedic, what is the most memorable rescue or incident you've been a part of that you remember and you can share?
Okay. One was, it actually ended up coming up at the SARE thing, and basically it was a rescue on Kohala Mountain Road in a ravine using the chopper, and it was something silly, like high school kids that had kind of found a place to go smoke dope or whatever, and cut school, and then afraid of getting caught, decided to walk up the ravine, and we'll get up to the road and walk back down to our school. Not that I'm admitting what school was there, but it meant climbing up the face of a very steep ravine, and unfortunately one of the kids fell, and I believe they passed. A second one was stuck, and the chopper guys came up, and we had to assist them, and the pilot was amazing. It's just the tight to get into that V. I mean, we were standing away from the edge, but we're looking at blades, you know, and it was amazing, like the skill that they had, and they were able to get them out. We treated the one injured kid, the second one, and I just thought that, like, the selflessness and then the risk, because it was a big risk at the time, and they took it because they felt like if not, we were going to be just removing two bodies, and nobody wanted that. So I think that was one big one.
That's something we don't talk about, I guess, for firefighters, I guess. That's something you got to live with, yeah. You see, like, you can't forget the things we see. Right?
You
much
can't.
As people say. Yeah.
No,
you probably still see.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot, and it affects your home life. Not in the way, for me, it affected me like with my kids. You know, living on wherever you're living. Like if we're living in Waimea and the kids wanted to get in a car with their friends to go to the beach. We just want to go to Hapuna, we want to go to the beach. I will go this weekend. I'll be off. We'll take you. It's not the same, right?
Yeah.
Now we live in Hilo, and I have a high school son, and he wants to drive over to the other side, and there's no way in hell that it's not happening, even now. So these things, they affect decision making.
Throughout your career, what important lessons have you learned that help you throughout the fire service as well as life?
I think probably the root of it might be oversimplifying it, but it's compassion. I think remembering that everybody, you know, regardless, you're not going to get along with everybody. The calls you go on, you're not going to have pristine patients. You're not going to have the perfect patient, you know. But at some point, I always remember, and I don't know if this was told to me. I feel like it was, but maybe like a old head. It was this paramedic, Charlie Whittle. Yeah, and I think it was just remembering that everybody is somebody's somebody. Like this old grizzled man that you're taking care of, that is short with his answers and is uncomfortable. At one point, he was someone's young husband, someone's little boy. So I think it helps you to understand that, you know, we're in a critical and serious situation, but it's also a person's it's not their best. It's not their best. And they're probably not going to present that way as their best self. So a little compassion and some lenience. And I think that goes along with a lot outside the job. I think it's just part of being a good part of the community is, you know, it's having a little patience and understanding. And even with that, I wish I've had more of that as well.
So I guess for us younger guys, what advice would you give to someone just starting their career in firefighting?
Okay, well, the new guys have a little different now with having to go 30 years.
Yeah.
And the age and everything. So even more so for them, I think really the really important part is get as much training as you can. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. The only shame is in not knowing. And it's, you know, if you have the opportunity to know, why not, you know? Yeah. I just think they need to start early, to get a leg up. Time is on their side, even though, you know, it's kind of a double-edged sword. The way things are now, I think, need to make themselves better candidates to move up. Yeah. And it'll serve them better for their job. It's safer, you know. That's really all I can really think about.
So my last category, reflections, now that you're retired, but you're working with us anyway. But if you could go back in time, would you change anything in your career, ladder path that you did in your profession, and why?
I wouldn't change. I wouldn't change my career. I wouldn't. I enjoyed being on the medic. I think it was my calling, even when I didn't realize it. And yeah, like I said earlier, I didn't have any real direction on what I wanted to do. But as soon as I did that, I knew that's what I wanted to do. And I wanted to help and take care of people in that way. So I actually went on to get my nursing degree. And so I've worked part-time in the ER as an RN. And I couldn't have done that without the guys at the station. But what would I've changed? I don't have any regrets about anything. I think maybe just at times letting things from my personal life spill into maybe how I was acting at the station. I can't think of any particular time specifically, but I'm certain in 26 years you'll piss some people off. But you can do some dumb stuff. And you know, I have nothing but great memories about the guys I worked with, the guys I worked around. Some of them were characters, and I love them for it, because it's nothing like, you know, looking back and being able to laugh on some stuff in the real serious job that we do. And you gotta have that. You gotta have balance. You know, it'll eat you up.
With a little time now that you had to reflect as a retiree, how has your perception of how things work in the department, or your perception of our department, changed?
I still have rose-colored glasses when I look at the department. It gave me the opportunity to raise a family. It gave me an opportunity to give my kids opportunities, possibilities. You know? I got a daughter in medical school. I got a son finishing up carpentry, and I got one graduating high school. And I think the things that they've been able to do have only been in a huge part because of the fire department. And the career it gave me. So, There was a second part to that question. I felt like I only got part of it.
I think
No,
you
no.
answered that.
Just
Yeah?
your
Okay.
perception. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's
Yeah,
I think like
yeah.
any situation, it's like high school, right? In a sense, it's when you're in it, you have a perception of it, but as you step out of it for a period
Yeah.
of time and you're away from it long enough,
Grateful.
it
Yeah.
kind of gives you a
Yeah,
different
yeah,
perspective of
for
okay,
sure.
here's the good, here's the bad, here's where I thought, oh man, I really could have been a better person here
Yeah,
or whatever, right? I could have
exactly.
done better at this or something, and
Exactly.
maybe
Yeah.
that changes of how you
Yeah.
look
For
at
sure.
it. Yeah.
And when it comes down to it, like you've got to make a lot of decisions on this job,
Yeah.
and you just, and they're not always going to be the right ones. They're not always, And for me, the technical part of it, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. Even when I made mistakes and I learned from it, and hopefully I didn't do the same mistake again. The only one that I would truly have any hard feelings about is if I ever slighted anyone or made anyone feel less than, or because it's honestly people are important.
Yeah.
The job it's a great job. I love
Yeah.
the job, but I love the job for the people it put me around. Like, I had a very good experience
Yeah.
all the way around. I learned a lot,
Yeah.
especially coming in young. I learned a lot about the department. I learned a lot about life, and there's still people that I go to for life advice.
yeah.
So now this side
You might
is
know a
where
couple of
I'm
them.
gonna let Battalion Chief Henderson kind of take over.
Oh my!
We want to talk about the retirement system and things that he did to kind of help himself or what he could improve on. So this is great for younger
Yeah.
guys,
Yeah.
especially like me, looking
Yeah.
into the future. So
Yeah, because we were talking this morning about it, right? It's what we really want to get into as we kind of go through these things is to think about just what you did and then how you would advise younger guys to do it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So kind of,
Yeah.
because we all go through stuff and then we realize, oh man, that's why now in my 40s I'm telling 20-year-olds, ooh, don't do that.
Yeah,
You know, or
exactly.
oh, you should
Yeah,
really think
yeah.
about this first. You know,
Yeah.
just because it's a time thing, right? So, you're a retiree for almost 7 years now. So my question is, not necessarily financial, not yet, but like, what advice do you have for these guys that are kind of pre-retirement? So I'll give you an example. We have a couple here. So, possible careers after fire, how your family dynamics
right.
change. Like, what kind of advice would you give them to say, okay, as I've been in retirement for now, these are the things that I wish I had planned out a little better for that period of transition.
Right.
So what kind of situation or advice do you think is important for that?
Well, it's interesting because I honestly had planned for a career after, and it became my career while it was the nursing. So I think early on, you need to understand that, like, it's going to be like for the guys now, it's 30 years, but if you got in your 20s, you're going to be done in your 50s. And a lot of the older guys I talked to when I was still in, they're like, hey, plan, because you're going to be well beyond those years potentially. And so I think it's important to get and I think you have to do that while you're in the department. I think, you have a lot of free time. If there's something that interests you, delve into it.
Yeah.
See if it's something that you could turn into a sustainable secondary career potentially.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got electricians, we've got carpenters, we've
Guys
got
are
guys that
really
talented
guys,
dudes,
talented guys. Yeah.
A lot of times people will say, well, the department is full of underachievers because it's people that can do so much more. Because that it's like, oh, you can do way more. But hey, no, but it's a calling. And you've got time. You can do stuff on the side, which is great. So I would definitely say to do something like that. Get a secondary thing that you can, because you're gonna have a lot of time at the end.
Because like that so like how that transitional period you went through in terms of the pre-career stuff you're talking about.
Yeah.
Was that difficult to transition out of, your schedule and your life? Because like for us, it's not too bad, right? We're 40-hour guys. So the transition Monday through Friday isn't that big of a deal versus guys that are on 24s, your entire life cycle changed. So was that a little bit of a struggle to get through as you kind of transition into?
Definitely. Initially, no. Because initially it's like, you go on 4 days, right? You've got 4 days. But I mean, we all know through our career, initially when you start 4 days, you're like, oh my God, I have all this time. And now then you get to a point where you're like, where did they go? I just got off. Yeah, what the happened to my
Just got off
4
ship,
days?
man. What the heck? Yeah.
So, so it feels like that initially when you first retire. Like, oh, hey, yeah, I'm done. And then you know what? Oh, what you gonna do today, babe? Oh, I'm not sure. I'll figure it out. Oh, okay, have a good day. You too. And then a month goes by, and you're like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Yeah. And then another week goes by. And
Right.
so I think there's a transition. It's almost like a grieving process where it's like, okay, I like for me, I didn't have a direction. I mean, I had stuff to do. I could fill my day with things all day, but to what end? Like, I'm like, I don't really have a goal. So you go through that, and then finally you get to the, hey, it's time to do something. Your wife will be like, okay, that's enough of that now. You've had enough time off.
Sitting around.
Yeah. Okay, no more honey-do list. Go do something with your family. So, there is a period there, where, but I mean, all good things come to an end. You've got to
transition.
Exactly.
And then the family dynamic part is kind of interesting because obviously that changes too, right? So, the interaction.
Yeah. The surprise.
Yeah.
You're home again? What's going on?
Yeah. From the kids.
You were home yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be home every day now. Oh man. Yeah, exactly. So, it does. It changes. Dynamics change a little bit, but it's great though. It's a great thing. Yeah.
The transition is awesome.
The transition is good.
So he and I talk about this all the time because he's, I wouldn't say a decade, but about there, behind me career-wise, and so we talk about
the transition. Way younger than you,
yeah, he's way younger than I am. Apparently, I'm told I'm way older than I am. Because I'm mature, whatever that means. But no, so we talk about it because it's stages, right? So if you can prepare yourself in one stage for the next, right? So we started talking about just the financial planning part of it. Because I think a lot of guys, when they're in the department, they haven't left yet. So they don't have time to kind of look back and go, ooh, I really should have done X or Y, Z or whatever.
Most guys
right?
think about retirement 5 years and less.
Well, that's one thing I wish they would change. Like for us, I don't know if they still do this, but for us in recruit class, one of the first things they talked to us about was deferred comp. And they're like, hey, this is a great vehicle for some funds on the side. It was. It really was. It's a good program. I would suggest that everyone figure out what is that number for them, because everybody has a different number that they can bring home, be comfortable, and do a percentage. Don't do a flat rate. Do a percentage of your check.
Yeah.
I know now that there's still OT, but it just doesn't go towards
the comp time thing.
You can. So I think the thing has changed. The system has changed, right? Overall.
Yeah.
So obviously that's a little bit of a challenge. But in terms of the financial advice part, so going through your life and disclaimer, Kamaki and I have known each other for over half my life at this point.
It's almost your high school course.
But it's one of those things where the kids come in and then they get a nice paycheck and they're kind of getting so from that perspective, like take advice you would give maybe a newer firefighter, and then as we go we'll go planning. We'll talk about planning and stuff. Like a newer guy.
Full disclosure, I was still in college, taking college classes when I got in the department. So with my same friends, and so which they're still my friends. I'm not doing my friends, but still like in that mentality. So my paychecks were basically I funded a lot of good
outings,
times. A lot of good times.
A lot of outings.
A lot of good times. Let's just say Ruben started counting the margaritas.
Yeah.
That was us.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed. I'll challenge anybody on that fact. That was us. That's why they started counting. But so I was wild with the money early on. Not too much. I didn't have a family, anything like that. So it was, I'd suggest against that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd suggest some actual planning for the future, which happened shortly after that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you really gotta. The one thing I was saying that I would wish they would change is I wish they would also let you go to a retirement seminar. Now it doesn't have to be specific, but I think you need to hear the details. And one of the details that they tell you is, of all the variables in the entire equation that deals with your financial stability in your future, time is the most important one.
Yeah.
So it always baffled me that I was told my time was the most important 6 months before I'm pulling the plug. It would be good to hear that at the beginning, so that I can keep my mind focused on the prize at the end. So I think that's something that needs to happen. I really do. I think, I know they're doing it at different levels, right? I think like those athletes, the pro athletes get some kind of financial thing at the beginning, some education. I think that would be good. I know it might be seen sometimes by, we had more specific plans come in to talk.
Yes.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just the general idea. Hey, this is the
Like
game.
education.
Yeah, this is the game, the financial game. This is how these are some things that can help you at the end. And time is the hugest one. It's the biggest variable. So getting in early and starting, and if you just started, just put it away. Like even like if I had done that at that point, I could have put away a bunch and not even felt it, still had my fun, and just not even think about it. And that's what that program.
20 some odd years of growth would have been fantastic.
Huge. We had that dip somewhere in the 90s, 2000s, but everybody got hit by it. So, but after that, the growth was big again.
Right.
So that's the one thing. Financial planning early on.
For the new
It's
guys,
just
making sure you have a
smart.
plan.
Yeah.
Some sort
Even
of
when
roadmap.
you don't, because whatever your plan is or isn't right now, I tell you right now, in the future, it's going to take money. It's going to take money.
Yeah,
So
for
you
sure.
start, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
I think
No.
for me, like, so when they talk about, oh, you go to these retirement meetings when you're about to retire, what goes on in that?
Okay.
Without discussing too much.
No details.
No
but
details.
general,
But
general.
What am I
I
expecting?
found it
to go?
amusing. It was a 2-part. It was a one day. They have you come in the morning, and then they break for lunch, and then you come back in the afternoon for the rest. I went to the morning section. I did not go back. I sat there ready to take notes, and they explained. They basically explained the packages, all of the different possibilities, and they speak, to the whole group. And almost every single head that we hit was, unless you're a union, unless you're a fire, it's different for fire. Everything.
Oh,
they
because
told
you're going
us.
into a workshop with
Oh,
generally everybody.
it's a
so
general
different unions,
meeting.
HGA
It's
versus
a general
gosh,
meeting.
Yeah,
So they send you in there and they say, well, this, this, and I'm like, oh, that's great. I'm writing down, unless you're a fire.
yeah.
Okay. So they're right.
Why am I here?
And it just happening. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is not what I was expecting.
Right.
But we did get some specific answers to questions that we had, and I think they picked up on that as well. That we were like, ours is a different. And maybe we shouldn't do them with everyone else. And so I don't know if that was just that particular one or how that's always done. But that was my only experience with it. And I thought, well, that's not the greatest, but it could be better. And I think that's where I think this is something that probably needs to come from the top down. I think that just as a form of taking care of it, just taking care of the guys. It's information. And there's no reason to not share it. It doesn't harm anyone.
So
it only
like
helps.
when I talk to a lot of guys that are going to retire, they said, oh, it depends on my numbers. Let me look at my numbers.
Right.
That means you just get a certain amount of numbers. They tell you, like, if you retire now versus end of the year, or is that what it is? Then that's how much you make.
What they do is when they look at your numbers, they will actually go. They have a system, and they will go through your career, and they will find, and it shifts, and they will find the highest 12 months. That's your high year. That's what ours was a high 3.
yeah.
So I guess for now it's 5, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they're 5.
they'll just slide it and find. So guys made spreadsheets. I had a spreadsheet that was part of the glory of being at 19.
You had time to do spreadsheets.
That's the pasture they send you to right before they send you out to So but yeah, it's so when they do that, those are the numbers they figure out for you specifically. And then you meet with someone specific, and she was awesome. And walked me through some of the numbers and stuff. But still, the options that you have are so vast and so wide. And I know one of the things I was asking the guys that were, when I was getting close, was, hey, what's the best way to do it? What's the best way? And honestly, the correct answer to that is there is no best way.
Or fits
There's a best way for you.
Right.
You can take into account whether your spouse works, whether your spouse has a retirement. Those answers, that's huge. They work. Okay, they have a retirement. Great. That's you can put that all together.
Is that just like a bundle, like over 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, you get paid out so much a monthly? So you can pick out 10 years, this much.
Well, you can decide, I want to take all my money. I'm going to take it all. Take it all out. I'll take the smallest check, and that's one option. And then that's it. Or you could I will take a smaller amount of my money, but almost all of it. But when something happens to me, my wife gets a check, right? So the first one would be no check for the spouse. Take all the money. Maybe you invest it into something, create something, take out a life insurance that takes care of your wife or whatever it is, maybe your husband or whatever it may be. But then there's options all the way to just leaving everything in, pulling the biggest check you can. And then there's other options where you take a little bit less, but then they'll pay off the balance if something happened to you quickly or shortly after retiring, and so they get the balance of what's in the account. So it runs the gamut. Those are the ends, those are the extremes, and stuff in between.
And your medical is included in that. That whole package thing.
Yeah, I think that one is across the board pretty. I think that one is just a set.
I think it's a standard
piece.
thing. Yeah, it changed in the early 2000s because I think a couple classes before ours when they stopped the spouse medical. So now you got to pay the difference between yours and a spouse or whatever now.
Things are supposed to get better.
No, I mean, they're understandable, right? They're understandable, and so so I think like that, right? So the new guys, having those options, and maybe that's the big part is because the end goal seems so far away. Kind of going back to that high school analogy, right? Is your senior year of high school seems so far away when you're a freshman. You're not thinking of when I get there, I didn't do my homework or I didn't do this and now I can't go to this school or whatever it is, right? And I think that's where a lot of us get caught is because by the end of our careers, you were so busy living life that you didn't actually sit down and plan it, right? Because you're just thinking, when I get to the end, I'll pick an option, whatever. Exactly. Right.
So that's a nice thing about the deferred comp package is you can treat it like a crock pot. If that's your personality, hey, then set it and forget it. Leave it alone. Put it. You want to be aggressive. Maybe the only thing you really need to do is when you're getting towards the end and you're gonna pull the plug is less aggressive. Move it into a more stable portion.
The fund, right?
The funds,
the types of funds,
But putting it in there, and just putting it to the side and forgetting about it and letting it just do its thing.
Right.
It's probably the best thing for you.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting because, as you shift through, I guess one of the things is, when you guys were in the middle of your careers, how many guys were sitting there actually looking at the retirement options, discussing them at the station, going, hey, I'm thinking of doing this, and what are the numbers for this? Was that something that kind of got thrown around a little bit, or not so much?
Not when I was... Not in my younger years. Not that I knew of. When I first got there, the older guys were talking about it a little bit, and you hear them talk about it, but not a whole lot. But late in my career, when I moved to Volcano, even when I moved there, I had 22, 23 years in. I was the least senior guy. So there was definitely a lot of retirement talk going on up there. Yeah. My EMTs had way more time than me. So yeah, and it was crazy. So yeah, there was a lot of discussion up there about retirement, and but then too, you know, everybody. That's the hard part too, because everybody's in their own situation.
Yeah,
Everybody's
yeah,
got
yeah.
different.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you share, but then why? You have to kind of filter that with okay, they chose that one, but why? Oh, they have that situation. I say okay, they did that because their wife's not working. And so that would be the better one, and, you know, in that sense, I couldn't see why they chose it. So, but it was never a hey, this is what you should do, but it was always a hey, you should work overtime.
Yeah. That's
definitely,
right.
Get that high three. Get that high three.
Did you
that
go
was
to that talk by yourself or with your wife?
the retirement talk.
Yeah.
I went by myself. Yeah.
Would you want your wife to come if you had the chance?
If I would have, well, no, not necessarily. No, she wouldn't have to. It's gonna sound weird. I would have liked Roy to have been there. He's been at every other talk I've had about retirement since then. But he wasn't there for the talk.
Missed that one.
She could have been there. That would have been fine. I think we had already discussed it. Yeah. We talked about what we were doing and why, and so we were good with that.
And you lock in that number right before you retire, or is that that day you retire?
Like the option you pick. When you lock in your option.
You know, that's a good question. I don't remember exactly. I think it was when I went to the office, that specific office to talk to. Yeah, you
Like
you
your
let her
personal
know
meeting.
which one. Yeah, you tell her which one, and then you come back. She'll meet with you like 3 times, and then like the third time was the paper was drawn up. I had to make sure there was the option that we talked about, and then I signed. That was it. I believe that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like you're buying a house almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it seems like
Except the money goes the other way. This time it's
we get paid
let me
to,
buy this house. Yeah.
No, but it's interesting because do you think if this subject, just, you know, retirement and planning, because that's the hardest part about fire, right? Is we live in this world, and in a way, a lot of times we are kind of cut off from the rest of the world. Like the normalcy of the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Right? We're kind of in our own bubble a lot of times, right? We live in this world.
Well,
and
definitely a different perspective as well. So, yeah.
And so, do you think that you had these discussions maybe 10 years in? So, for instance, maybe when you're having this discussion with a recruit, it's so fresh to them and
it could
it's
get
too
lost
far
on
off.
them.
Versus
get
maybe
lost on them.
at 7 years you come in and go, hey.
10 years in.
Yeah. Like, hey, you got 20 years left.
Yeah.
You know, where are you at?
You know, 10, I would say 10 would be good. 10 I would say would probably be that'd be a time on the outside. I would go 10 or a little bit less.
Yeah, something like 5 or 7.
Because I feel like, I feel like after 5 years of being in the station,
Kind of know where you want to be.
you've seen a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you've seen a lot of stuff. 5 years in, you're already up for promotion.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're already like, if you're going to be able to take on these other responsibilities on the job, then more than likely it reflects your home life, right? Yeah. So if you think about firefighters are like bachelors, pretty much. They're just, you know, they kind of, you know, they're in the action. They get in the mix. They're doing all, but then, you know, you got people. Then you get the driver, and now you got to think about your crew and safety and everything. So you probably have your crew at home, you know, and so I think maybe something like that, like somewhere between 5 and 10 years, probably be best served. But I wouldn't go past 10 because since time is
But do you think that would have potentially really just like changed the way you move?
The way I move?
Yeah. So had somebody sat you down at 7 years in and gone, okay, here's on paper, here's the options for retirement. Here's some projected numbers if you do deferred comp based on the last 10 years of the fund or something, and kind of just sat you down and showed you
what
stuff.
What kind of changes would you think
While
you would make?
I think while you're having a young family though, because that's usually the place, right? Like you're talking about, right about 7 years in is when you're kind of having a family and getting your thing going. So like this guy, you know, he kind of like, he was right up, you're right up there, right? 7 years in.
10 now.
Yeah.
No. But like when you started having kids, it's like you were like 5, 6, 7 years in, right? So like your circumstances change from I'm single, I'm going hunting and buying my truck.
Myself,
Right. Yeah. So would that, you know, so do you think that would have changed the way you operated in your career, not just financially, but like as a whole in your career? Do you think it would have changed some things, knowing how stuff was set up a little better?
The smart answer would be to say yes. But anybody that worked with me would know I was lying. Because I am very much like emotional and like in the moment. So I was a crockpot guy. I was a set it and forget it guy. And we've had discussions about, would I change things at this point with what I'm thinking? Absolutely.
Right,
I would have done things a little different. However, we've also had that discussion, and I appreciate those because it brought to my attention that I probably wouldn't be where I'm at now. And I'm actually happy. I'm really happy where we are now.
Right.
One more kid to do my duties, and then it's just me and the wife, and we can,
and the dogs.
Yeah, and the dog, and the animals,
and the pig.
The pig and the chicken.
Don's fun.
Just having the discussion makes you think more about it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Absolutely. And that's why it's hard, because everything is perspective. So there's going to be young guys that can't, I get time. You do. You have lots of time. But that's the key. Yeah. That's the key to it. Yeah. And if it's really that hard, just take the time, the one time, to figure out what that number is and just put that percentage in, because there is one that teeters where you bring home just about the same.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, if you bring home $100, $200 less, you still make it. I know it's hard when you get young kids and you gotta pay for stuff. You're gonna find a way to pay for that stuff. Yeah. But guess what? If you brought home another $1,000, you'd probably figure out how to spend that too. So it would go as well. So you just take the time, put that on the side, and just trust it, because it works. Yeah. It does. I mean, help pay for a lot.
So, a question we were kind of talking about is, can you name one thing you wish you would have done financially to set yourself up for the late stages of your career and like pre-retirement? So, is there anything you think, oh man, I should have done deferred comp, or I should have, put money into this? Or is there a thing that you kind of think of sometimes and go, oh man, I really, I kind of missed the boat on this? And
Bitcoin and Apple.
That's a good answer. Good answer, yeah.
Bitcoin and Apple.
Quality answer.
But that's that's a Back to the Future kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'd love to have a sports almanac.
Yeah.
But
8.
Yeah. 10. But so we talked about this thing. It's called Time Machine.
Time Machine.
Okay. And so we're gonna put you in a scenario. We have a time machine right now. You can go back in time, speak to yourself at the beginning of your career, but we're gonna time you, and you only have 3 minutes. So you got 3 minutes before the time machine
like
zaps
I'm
you
talking
back
to
right
my
now.
kids.
Like you're talking to yourself.
Talking to myself.
So you have a chance to go back in time, look yourself in the eye, and go, okay, this is it. So you got the timer?
Yeah.
Okay, so go. We're there. Go.
Okay. Keywords: Apple and Bitcoin. First off, invest. Don't take yourself so seriously. Always put other people first. Like even when it's uncomfortable, like just do it. It's fine. It'll work out. You're gonna have. Oh man, what did I do? Okay. Don't go paddle canoe. Skip that. Don't do that. Yeah. Men's league in Kohala. I mean in Kona. Don't do that. Save your Achilles. Spend more time with your kids when they're little. Spend more time with your kids when they're little. Sick leave. Yeah, you want to keep all that stuff, but and this job is great. 10 times a month, a third of the month, a third of your life actually working. But you still, like we had this discussion the other day, but you still miss birthdays, holidays, stuff like that. Yeah. So
try not to miss.
So when you can spend your extra time with the kids, teach them how to mow, teach them how to weed eat, so you don't have to do it yourself. Minute 30. I don't know what else to say really. I mean, I'm really happy with how things turned out. That's not always the case, You always have your regrets. You wish you did, but ultimately, just invest in people. because you have this job. It's a great job. But you'll be done one day. And it's a young man's job. You get to a certain point, and other people have to take over. So you just got to know that. So invest in the people, invest in your family, and definitely Apple and Tesla, or Apple and Bitcoin.
52 seconds left.
Yeah, you got 52 seconds before we go back. General life advice.
Namahoyo like this. Don't eat wasa crackers. Other than that.
He went on a walk across the crazy. It was weird. Like 15 years ago. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Yeah. That's it, though. Yeah. I know. I hate to feel like, oh no, I left something on the table. Nah. It's good.
I'm going to invest in people. All right.
Yeah, invest in people. Invest in
Okay, boom. You're
21
back.
seconds
back
left.
there.
We're back.
Yeah, back. And your life ended up the same because you're still sitting here with us. So
yeah, but now I gotta look in the
machine.
mirror, and that guy didn't look half bad. But now, oh my god!
What's the first thing you did when you retired?
Oh,
Grow your hair?
Yeah. Well, oddly enough, I always messed with it. You can ask at the station.
Yeah.
I had long hair. I hid it under a hat. I had mutton chops. I had a goatee. They were like, hey, we can't. I remember Glenn was my driver. Honda was my driver before he became Fire Tooth. I had the Scott Davis. I had a little one of those.
The soul patch.
The soul patch. Yeah. He was like, dude, you can totally see that. So I bleached it blonde. Like I thought that was gonna hide it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get bored of this. I'll shave my head one day, but my brother's bald, so I just rub it in his faces. Yeah.
I think when I met you, you had short hair.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When I was at that time I had short hair. Yeah. That was a crazy day.
Oh, yeah, storied career, man, and lots of perspective. And I think some of the stuff you talked about today, I mean, honestly, it's good for young guys to hear because everybody thinks they have so much time.
It goes fast.
Yeah,
it goes really fast.
And I'm just hoping for 6 more years to go fast.
Dude, that's a blink of an eye.
So I can dump it on this guy.
It's a blink of an eye. It'll happen real quick.
That's good.
Yeah, but you don't want it to. Just think about it. No,
Yeah.
That's 6 years. Teddy's 6 years older.
Oh no! I'm excited to get my kids out of my house.
Oh.
My kids are terrorists. No, they're great kids. But no. I mean, just overall, I think it's great, and we're glad we suckered you back into working with us. But yeah, we appreciate your time and
that's good.
I
It's good for me
appreciate
to
you.
learn more.
Yeah.
I like doing these because you learn a lot about these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hopefully it wasn't too boring.
My first call.
yeah, you gotta tell the story.
Yeah. So when I was, I think I was a recruit still, and then we had BLS. It wasn't even BLS training, but for some reason I got stuck with you in Volcano.
Yeah.
And EMT was the legendary Victor Lockock.
Yep.
And then for some reason we went into Hilo and
we had a call. We brought a patient in and we stopped by for some equipment or something down at Central.
And there was a plane crash at Hilo Airport.
Yeah.
And I ended up going with this guy.
Yeah.
I still remember that call with you.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah. We talked about that and it reminded me of like how many times I actually had done that. Like back to when the 16 BLS days and jumping calls in Hilo, and because we were doing a transfer, and my partners were never really excited about it. But I was like, dude, you get to say you went to a call in Hilo.
Yeah.
Like, I was trying to sell it.
Yeah.
Like, fine, we can go. All right, let's go. And we get there, and oh my God.
Why did we do this?
That's why we don't. That's why we don't go to out of district calls.
Well, thank you for coming.
Yeah, appreciate you, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, appreciate you very much.
Oh
my goodness.
There you go.